Yes, students, now we will revise the topic of accounts and records as given in section 35 and 36 of CGST Act, where it is mentioned who should maintain the accounts and records under GST, what all records they have to maintain, and where they have to maintain, and also how long they have to maintain. So, first we will see section 35, then we will go and understand section 36, guys. Okay. Section 35 subsection 1 specifies every registered person. Okay, that means whoever is registered under GST, they have to maintain accounts and records. Shall keep and maintain at his principal place of business as mentioned in the certificate of registration a true and correct account of. Okay, true and correct account of what and all? Production or manufacture of accounts, inward and outward supply of goods or services or both, that is both with respect to sales as well as purchases. Then stock of goods, that is inventory details. Then input tax credit availed, that is on the inward supply. Then output tax payable as well as paid through cash ledger, that is on the outward supply, and such other particulars as may be prescribed, provided that where more than one place of business is specified in the certificate of registration, that is the branches, guys, which we call it as additional place of business, the accounts relating to each place of business shall be kept at such places of business. This is only when the registered person has a branches. Okay. Then coming to subsection 2, every owner or operator of the warehouse or a godown or any other place used for storage of goods, and every transporter, okay, the owner of the godown along with the transporter, irrespective of whether he is registered person or not, shall maintain the records of the consignor, consignee, and other relevant details of goods. So the owner of the godown or warehouse or even the transporter, they are handling the goods of other persons, guys. So they have to maintain the details about who is the consignor, who is the consignee, and also when goods was received and when it will be delivered or dispatched. All these details has to be maintained by them. Oh. Then subsection 3, the commissioner may notify a class of taxable persons to maintain additional accounts or documents. So as per subsection 1, we have already seen what all has to be maintained. This is, sir, the basic details to be maintained. But can the proper officer or the commissioner specify a person to maintain more records or more details? Yes. That power is given to the commissioner as per subsection 3. Using it, what are the additional records to be maintained is actually given in the rules, guys. So I have given it here. Let me just go through it. So the additional records to be maintained by specified person are as follows. First one, if they are engaged in import and export, they have to maintain the details about the import transaction as well as export transactions. So what all details has to be maintained, sir? Invoices, bill of supply, delivery challan, credit and debit notes, receipt voucher, payment voucher, refund voucher, and e-way bills, along with various documents which you will handle with respect to import and export, like shipping bill, bill of exports, such documents, guys. Okay. Then coming to stock or inventory, opening balance, inward and outward supply, that is purchase and sales, lost or destroyed goods, then premise details, that is where the goods are stored, goods supplied as a gift or free samples, then balance of stock, which is nothing but the closing stock of raw material, finished goods, and scrap. Guys, simple. They have to maintain the data like this. So, what is the opening stock plus purchases minus sales as well as loss? That will give us what? Closing stock. Sir, even loss has to be recorded? Yes, it is a must, guys. Goods lost or destroyed or given as a free samples, let it be anything. Please record it. It is not like a sales, but we need to deduct it. Sales is when we have sold it for the recipients or customers. Whereas goods lost is like, sir, I have lost it during the storage or wherever it is lost, we need to record it. For GST, it is mandatory to record the goods lost, guys. Okay, sir. Fine. Then coming to the tax details, tax payable, tax collected and paid, that is from the recipients, then input tax credit on the inward supply, then ITC claimed, because few input tax cannot be claimed as credit, guys, where the conditions given under section 16 is not satisfied or the credit is blocked as per section 17. So this may not be equal to ITC claimed. So please be careful. Out of the total ITC, how much we can claim, we need to record that also separately. Okay, sir. Then tax invoice, credit and debit notes, and delivery challan, various documents, guys. Okay. The last one is the people, that is the supplier as well as recipients details. Supplier means from whom we have taken the inward supply of goods or services. So we need to maintain their data, and also recipients data for whom we have made the outward supply of goods or services, guys. Got it? Yes, sir. So these are the additional records to be maintained. But one more thing is there. So the supplier who is registered under section 10, that is composition scheme, both the composition scheme, that is section 10.1 as well as 10.2a, for both whoever is following the composition scheme, for them this two details is not required. That is the stock details as well as tax details is not required, guys. Got it? In simple, for composition supplier who is registered under section 10, for them the stock details and tax details is not required. Off. Then going back to the section 35 subsection 4, guys, where the commissioner consider that any class of taxable person is not in a position to keep and maintain accounts in accordance with the provisions of this section, he may, for the reasons to be recorded in writing, permit such class of taxable person to maintain accounts in such manner as may be prescribed. Assume I am a small supplier registered under GST, but I am not able to maintain all the details given here. So can I request commissioner, give me some exemption? Yes. If commissioner feels so, he may tell, okay, Vikas, you maintain only so and so details. Is that clear? And that power is only with the commissioner. He can give that exemption for me for not maintaining few records, not all the records. He cannot tell, okay, because don't maintain anything, go. No, no, no. Some basic details about purchase, sales, and all has to be maintained. But if I am not in a position to maintain all the data, I can request the commissioner telling, sir, it is a costly affair for me. I cannot afford too much to spend on maintaining the accounts. So please give me some exemption. Then accordingly, the commissioner can use his power to give the exemption. Okay. Then the last subsection, 35 subsection 5. Subject to the provisions of section 17.5H. Okay, first, what is 17.5H, guys? That is talking about block credit. If there is any loss of goods which is destroyed or lost by fire or even disposed of for free, or if it is given as a free samples, then credit is not available. On inward supply of such goods, credit is not available. That is what is given in section 17.5. Yet I repeat, sir, if any goods is lost, destroyed, disposed of, or given it as a free samples without consideration, then they're telling on inward supply there is no credit. On inward supply there is no credit. So what is section 35 subsection 5 is telling? Where a registered person fails to account for the goods or services or both in accordance with the provisions of subsection 1, that is maintenance of records, the proper officer shall determine the amount of tax payable on the goods or services or both that are not accounted for, as if such goods or services or both had been supplied by such person, and the provisions of section 73, 74 and 74a, which is a recovery sections. Guys, these three sections talk about recovery. When the supplier doesn't pay or the registered person doesn't pay what he is supposed to pay, then the proper officer will have all the powers to recover that amount along with interest penalty from the registered person. Okay, but anyway, these sections are not a part of your syllabus, so you need not worry. Shall apply for determination of such tax. Guys, simple. Now, whatever goods has been lost or given as free sample or disposed, the registered person should have recorded that in the books of accounts. I told you while discussing the stock details itself. Yes, if any goods is lost or destroyed, should we account for it? Yes. What if it is not accounted? Then they're telling we will treat it as if it is a sale, as if it is a good sold, and the registered supplier has to pay GST on it. Because many a times what happens, no, when there is any raid or stock audit, then they will tell whenever there is a mismatch of actual inventory with the books, they will tell, oh, that goods is lost. Is it okay? No, if it is lost, you have to record it. Got it. So whenever there is a mismatch of inventory, assume the proper officer only came for a stock audit and there was a mismatch of the stock or inventory. In the books, it is like 1000 kgs, where actually it is only 800 kgs. Now, when proper officer questioned, the registered person is telling, sir, maybe it is lost, sir. Maybe it is lost. Is it so? Can you take that exemption or benefit? No, no. If it was lost, then he should have recorded in the books already. If he has not recorded, then 35 subsection 5 gives the power for the proper officer to decide or to declare that whatever goods has been lost, to consider it as a sales or outward supply, and registered person has to pay tax on it as if it is a supply, guys. Got it? Yes, sir. Fine. Now going to section 36. And they may also ask sometimes, what are the accounts or records to be maintained with respect to certain business or certain persons, guys? For example, agent or works contract service and all. So you know what work they would be doing. For example, agent. So what are they doing? They're supplying the goods on behalf of the agent, or they're purchasing the goods on behalf of the agent. So what all details they have to maintain? You can just use your common sense to tell, sir, they have to maintain the principal details. Yes, the details of the goods they have received on behalf of the principal, or they have sold on behalf of the principal. Yes, and with respect to payment, all the details they have to maintain. Even if it is a works contract service, works contract means with respect to construction service. Yes, sir. So they have to record, sir, how much percentage of each work has been done for each contract, because normally at the end of the year the few of the contracts might not be completed. So in that case, please maintain for each and every contract how much work is done and how much payment is received. And you should also use, or you should also maintain, like, for each and every contract how much goods is used or how much services are used, like that. Is that clear? And with respect to works contract, there is also a credit block as per section 17.5. So is credit available or blocked as per section 17.5? Also maintain that data. Yes, sir. Okay. Now coming to section 36. Section 36 specifies how long should we maintain the books of accounts. Yes, sir. Every registered person required to keep and maintain books of accounts or other records in accordance with the provisions of section 35 subsection 1 shall retain them until the expiry of 72 months. 72 months from when? From the due date of furnishing the annual return, guys. Okay. For the year pertaining to such accounts and records. I have given one example here. Assume the books of accounts related to financial year 25-26. The due date to file annual return for 25-26 is what, guys? 31st December of next financial year. So in my case, it would be 31st December 2026. So from here, we need to take 72 months. So the books of accounts relating to financial year 25-26 has to be maintained for 72 months from 31st December 2026. That is till 31st December 2032. 2032, guys. Okay. However, a registered person who is a party to an appeal or a revision or any other case is going on against him or any other proceedings shall retain the books of accounts and other records pertaining to the matters of such appeal or revision for a minimum period of 1 year after the disposal of such appeal or revision as the case may be, guys. Sir, what is it? Guys, assume with respect to financial year 25-26, against the registered person, there is a case going on. And the final judgment, let us assume, is given on 15th December 2035. The final judgment or the decision is given by the court or the tribunal on 15th December 2035. Yes, they are telling you need to maintain the books of accounts from the final decision date for 1 more year. That is till 15 December 2036. The books of accounts relating to which year? 25-26. So if there is any appeal or revision or any proceedings going on against a registered person for a particular year, then over and above 72 months also, should he maintain the books of accounts? Yes. Till when, sir? Till 1 year from the date of the final disposal, guys. That is final judgment. Got it? Yes, sir. Fine, guys. So this is all about the accounts and records. You guys can just come to the first 2 page number where I have given the section number. We'll quickly mark it under CGST Act. Yes, sir. So we have covered till 34 already. Just now we covered section 35 and 36, people. Yes, sir. And please be careful, there is no separate provisions with respect to accounts and records in the IGST Act. So as per section 20 of IGST Act, whatever we have covered under CGST Act under section 35 and 36, mutatis mutandis will be applicable even under IGST Act, guys. We are done.